Okay, this goes out to the growth-minded folks, the personal development people who have done all the things and are super high performing, but still maybe feeling self-doubting, exhausted, or just wondering why you're not further along than you are. I'm going to expose the hidden trap that high performers often fall into on this personal growth journey and what to do instead. And this is relevant to people that have been on the path for a very long time and people that are newer on the path. Before I tell you what is sabotaging the very peace, presence, and purpose that we're working so hard to create, I want to encourage you to really dig deep when you're listening to this. A lot of times we hear things and they just kind of go over our heads and we're just like, yeah, I got that. I already know that. I already know that. I already know that. And the reason that this is such an important video and why I really wanted to bring it to you is because so often I see in others and in myself, this thing that is happening that is keeping our best efforts to evolve ourselves more consciously at a distance. It's just so subtle that it's really important to understand it if you want to be able to evolve quicker. So first, here's what happens. You hit a moment, burnout, crisis, your inner meh comes up, whether it's the foundational time that you start on your path or it's just the time in your evolution that you're continued to be on the path. And you decide, okay, it's time to grow. I need to read a new book. I need to start meditating and maybe I'll hire a coach. Maybe I'll even sit in a ceremony or two, or I've got to go back to these things, or I've got to try something new or different. But instead of using the tools that we choose to come home to ourselves, we turn them into another to-do list. This happens because we're bringing the same overachieving mindset to our personal growth and our spirituality that we bring to everything. So we want to be the best at letting go. We want to nail our nervous system regulation, get it right. We check off our morning routine like it's a quarterly KPI. We're essentially overachieving at not overachieving. And I say this with zero judgment because I've done it too. I once found myself tracking how present I could stay before getting distracted, like as if there is a trophy for stillness. There isn't. I think I shared before that for a while there, I was like, oh, I need to go on all my walks without listening to anything, because that would be true presence, just being in the moment. Like I was going to win an award for that, or that was somehow going to make everything drop in perfectly. Well, the truth that I ended up finding out that I shared was that I have a part that gets very scattered. And if I try and force it into presence, and I don't give it its time to be scattered and listen to a podcast or gab on the phone or do whatever it needs to do, then I'm not able to get other things done later in the day because that part won't settle down. So why does this happen? Well, it happens because the same internal system that got us success in our business, the striving, the proving, the perfectionism, comes with us on our inner journey. And remember, the nervous system doesn't know the difference between I need to get this presentation done or I'll lose this client, and I need to fix myself or I won't be lovable. It's the same thing. To your survival brain, both are a threat. So we've got to keep up with the personal growth or the evolution or the spirituality to get ahead. So instead of healing, we're secretly trying to outrun our inadequacy. Think about that for a moment. Because when personal growth is driven by fear, we don't evolve. And so it becomes a task to begin to really understand when fear is driving us, even when we don't realize it. Because if we don't, we're just going to get better at self-policing. So here's the truth that I want to offer. Authentic growth doesn't look like mastering the perfect routine. It looks like hearing a deeper voice inside you. You know, I was on a hike recently and we were just at this beautiful waterfall and the water was just absolutely beautiful. And my friends were getting in and crawling across the water and getting their feet wet and all this stuff. And it just looked so nice, right? And normally I might think to myself, yeah, I've got to live fully. I've got to be grounded in this moment and dive in and do all these things. But I just sort of checked in with myself and it wasn't even a thought. It was just a knowing, like, I don't want to take my shoes off right now and do that. Just don't feel like it. And I didn't need to make an excuse, and I didn't need to feel bad that I wasn't fully living in nature in the moment. I just knew intuitively that that wasn't the right choice for me in that moment. So it doesn't look like doing everything perfect. It looks like listening to yourself more from a place of not making an excuse or talking yourself into needing to do something or needing not to do something, but just a wordless knowing. And when you have that, you know that you're not acting from fear. Instead, you're moving from truth. But it takes practice. So here are 3 ways to begin shifting out of overachievement and into an aligned self-leadership, an inner knowing, no matter if you're at work or you're at home or on a hike in the mountains. Number 1, watch for the fixing energy. Ask yourself, am I doing this to connect with myself or to fix myself? If it's the latter, then pause, take a moment, because your soul doesn't want a solution. It just wants to be witnessed. Number 2, trade the metrics for moments. Love this. Stop tracking your healing. Start noticing the moments of real connection. Can you be in a conversation where you're tuning into the other person? You're connecting to yourself and someone else at the same time. Tune into a moment of joy, of ease and aliveness, not with your mind, not like, oh, I feel alive right now. I feel gratitude. No, not with thought, just with feeling. It doesn't need to be shared. You can just be with it. You don't have to earn those moments. Those moments are our birthright. So trade the cataloging of the moments and the things that you're doing, and try to be present in the moment, which usually doesn't involve words or thoughts. Third, be with, not on top of it. Instead of trying to override your anxiety or your fear or your anger, try to sit with it. Name it, feel it, let it move. Let it move through you. This is nervous system fluency, not control. I had a client this week that went through something really, really major, and this was a primary focus of her work, to walk through this event in a very different way without getting identified with all of the feelings that come up and all the thoughts that come up and what the mind is saying to do or not to do, but instead to be with it, to recognize it, to notice it. In fact, I had more than one client dealing with things this week on that, whether they were, work-oriented and infighting with the team that she had to witness, or in the other case, a very personal event. So no matter what you're dealing with, small or big, be with it instead of on top of it. What I want you to walk away with is this. You cannot white knuckle your way to inner peace. It doesn't work. The more you strive to fix yourself, the more you reinforce the belief that you're broken, and you're not broken. But when you remember who you really are, then you're bringing presence to that part of yourself that is striving. You bring presence to the part of you that wants, that yearns, that thinks it needs to fix. Bring presence to that part of yourself. That's when transformation is really available to you. It becomes inevitable when you can just observe it instead of beating it into submission. So if you're ready to stop hustling for worthiness and start leading from the inside out, you're in the right place. If this resonated with you, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also click below, because I have a lot of free resources to help you to lead yourself and your life and your business more intuitively, with more clarity, less chaos, less anxiety and stress. The idea is to shift from the strategy and self-doubt that comes from the mind and move toward a more sovereign feeling inside yourself and soul-led leadership. So I'll see you next time. And until then, stay nimble, stay soft, stay open, stay heart-centered, stay present, and stay synced to your soul signal.